This is an interesting idea. I have, for a while, toyed with the concept that Naruto could have a brother. I mean, he is Ashura's reincarnation, so at some point in the past he had a twin brother. He is also descended from the Sage of Six Paths, who himself had a twin. So that's something I wish to toy with today. What if Naruto had a twin brother? Considering the Indra and Asura reference I made above, can you guess who I'm going to choose? I wonder how, or even if, this will change their course in life. Will the curse of hatred still take hold, or will Sasuke and Naruto break free? I suppose there's only one way to figure this out.
Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. YouTube's been unsubscribing users from channels lately, so if you're a fan of us, please do us a favor and double check to see if you're still subscribed. It only takes a second, and it helps us a ton here at Amagi. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
So on October 10th, the world is changed forever, or more so, the world is threatened to be changed forever. During the cold winter, the Hokage's wife, Kushina Uzumaki, is giving birth. Biwako Sarutobi is the one in charge of delivering the child. When the child is delivered, they cut the umbilical cord and give it a quick smack on the bottom to start those lungs up. She shows the baby to Kushina. She smiles. Minato, glad that this is finally over, begins to reseal the nine tails. Suddenly, Kushina begins screaming again. I can only imagine the look on Minato's face. Biwako's voice can be heard coming from south of the equator. There's a second baby. Ha, I almost want to imagine that Minato begins to pass out here, but he can't as he has a job to do. He needs to keep the nine tails in. A few moments pass and suddenly the other baby is born, receiving the same treatment as the first. Laying the child with the other, Biwako looks down. Oh, there's another. Minato lets out a quick squeal before Biwako looks at him with a nefarious grin. I'm only picking on you. Minato scolds the woman as she laughs, but while there's levity, suddenly a man enters the room wearing a mask and grabs hold of one of the two children. Which did he grab? Who knows? Didn't matter to him. All he knew was that he had leverage. Leverage that he planned to use. The masked man is ready to take the child's life, holding a kunai to the newborn's throat, threatening to snuff out the fresh life if he did not get what he desired. And what did he desire? The nine tails. Minato is fast, but he isn't fast enough. As he takes the child, the masked man takes Kushina. A moment later, they're gone, passing through the Kamui dimension, warping to the place where he planned to unleash the nine tails. Pulling it out of her, he placed the beast in a genjutsu and began to lay waste to the village hidden in the leaves. Meanwhile, Minato was with his two children, laying them both in bed at their home. He hated to leave them, but he needed to save the village. He needed to save Kushina. He rushed out to find the nine tails laying waste to the village, killing everyone in its path. He would face off against the masked man. So long as this man in possession of the Sharingan remained, he would never be able to calm the nine tails down. He furiously clashed with the masked man, but to his surprise, every single time he attempted to strike the masked man, he phased clean through. What was he supposed to do? He knew that the man could be touched. Every time he felt the masked man's fist clash against his cheek, he was reminded of such. He realizes that the only way to strike this man was to quickly catch him off guard. And the moment he did, he would need to sever his connection with the nine tails. So he came up with a plan. Using his flying Raijin, he would trick the man into thinking he had safely avoided the attack, only for Minato to shift and unleash the true strike from behind. Holding up one of his marked custom kunai, Minato rushed at the masked man. He threw the kunai at his head, and just as he predicted, it passed right through. The masked man had phased through it, yet his hands remained up. He was still planning to attack Minato. That was his mistake. Suddenly, Minato warped out of the way and was behind him. Before the masked man even knew what had happened, Minato shoved a fist right into his back. He then severed the connection the man had with the nine tails, forcing the man to retreat when he realized that he had lost. Retrieving Kushina, he returned to their house and laid them beside their two children. He had believed that the day that they laid their children into bed with them, he would be able to lay on the other side, sandwiching the two babies between their two loving parents. But that was not now. Not today. Kushina was dying and the village was at risk. As both the man of the house as well as the leader of the village, he had a mission to complete. He vowed to return soon and set out to the village. He would quickly show up, standing upon a high place, glistening like the concept of hope upon a village in despair. Even the nine tails would notice him there, Minato's mere presence issuing a challenge to this apex monster. In response, it charged a tailed beast ball, ready to blow its adversary away along with the entire village. From below, Hiruzen called out to Minato with worry in his voice for what the village might be forced to endure. Minato, like a yellow flash, rushed the beast, touching it. He used the flying Raijin Jutsu to teleport the whole beast away. Sadly, the only other thing he had in way of marker was his home. He prayed that he had not just killed his own family by bringing the mountainous beast to their abode. Hiruzen watched it disappear from the village, and less than a second later he witnessed the flash of the tailed beast ball exploding on the horizon. Hiruzen would gather troops and begin to set off for the new location of the battlefield, existing what seemed to be at least 10 miles away. Minato had erected a barrier, and seeing that his adversary would not so easily be defeated, he knew all he could do was seal it. Kushina wished to seal it into her own body, expecting to die, bringing it with her to the grave to save both the village and her family. Minato denied her this, stating that the tailed beast needed to live, else the balance would be out of whack. He decided to use the repair death seal to put the tailed beast into their eldest son, the dark-haired one. Kushina begs him not to, saying that she doesn't want her child to live with that hate. Minato had little choice though. He weaved the seal. Seeing what was about to happen, Kurama was not stupid. He reached his claw hand out to impale both children, unsure which he would be sealed into. Kushina and Minato jumped in the way to take the claws themselves, slowing down the hand. Minato finished the seal, and then together, Kushina and Minato said their last farewells to their children. Minato would then seal the power. As he began to pull the tailed beast to place it into his eldest son, Sasuke, he realized just how powerful Kurama was, and knew that it would be too much for a single child to handle. He would instead split Kurama into two halves, a yin half and a yang half. He sealed the yin half into Sasuke and the yang half into his younger son, Naruto. The two halves of the tailed beast locked themselves into the bodies of the two infants, leaving behind only a faint mark to prove that they were now properly taken care of. With that, Kushina passed on. Minato, given one last look at his deceased wife, felt as if his heart may rend to pieces, realizing he'll never see her again. He looked to the children and now wondered what hell he was leaving them to. He uttered an apology before falling to the ground, dead, his soul claimed by the Shinigami that disappeared into the endless black of the night. Not long after, the barrier comes undone, and the third Hokage, just a moment earlier out of retirement, finds the two children beside their dead parents, crying and alone. He would take them and hope to fulfill a promise to Minato that he would take care of them. As soon as the two were able to walk and speak and show even the slightest competency whatsoever, they would be given an apartment with which to live, funded by the Hokage himself. Each were given a monthly allowance, which would pay for food, clothes, toiletries, and something nice if they were frugal and thrifty, of which a tyke like these two would not be. They began to eat pretty much nothing but ramen. The days going hungry had taught them only to buy the cheapest of things to save money for harder times, and the cheapest meal they could get was ramen from Ichiraku. Despite the inexpensive nature of the food, they found comfort in it. Within the shop, within the bowls of steamed noodles, meat, and eggs. Warmth in the smile of the shop owner, and the peace of being in the one place in the village where they did not seem to be hated. It was the sad reality of this. Rumors flew that the Nine-Tails was cleaved in two by the fourth Hokage before his death and transformed into two demonic little boys that the third Hokage commanded them to let live. He may command them to let the children live, and he may command them never to divulge the truth, but he could not command them to like them, to forget what the Nine-Tails had done. They would not associate with these little monsters. They would not let their own kids associate with them. They would not serve them, and they would not even pay them any mind unless it was in recompense for a debt or vandalized piece of property. It was a sad and lonely life for Naruto and Sasuke, both of whom were too young and innocent to understand why people didn't like them. Naruto hypothesized that it was because they were twins and that everyone was jealous of them. Sasuke hypothesized that maybe it was because they didn't have parents, that people thought that they were bastard children of some noble who wanted to keep things quiet, or worse, their parents had been criminals. Naruto would often wonder about their parents, wishing he could have met them, and Sasuke would tell him not to bother. If they had loved them enough, they wouldn't have left them alone. This subject was a contentious one between the two brothers. Given the emotional weight and the different ways they both carried it, it tended to lead into a fight between the two boys that would leave one of them on the ground with a bloody nose or lip. Of course, they always patched things up quickly. They had to. There was nobody else left for them. If they didn't nurture their bond, they would have no bond. After some time of complete neglect, Naruto hoped that one day he would take the old Hokage man's job and be respected by the whole village. Sasuke didn't care about that. He didn't want their respect or admiration. He hated them for hating himself and his little brother for all of their lives. Nonetheless, whether it was for love or hate, both joined the academy. Sasuke was a prodigy right out the gate, completing any task delivered to him with astounding speed and competency. Naruto, having inherited the dumb genes, could barely spell his name for the first few weeks. Sasuke seemed to leave him in the dust in their studies, and Naruto was struggling just to make average. Even below average was a goal worth shooting for. It was better than failing, and given their own notoriety, not many people wanted to tutor them. They had to figure things out themselves. Sasuke tended to leave Naruto to his own devices unless specifically asked to help, especially if it was to an incessant degree. Sasuke didn't have time to focus on Naruto. He needed to study himself or Naruto would drag his grades down. As time passed in school, Sasuke began to become popular. His strength, his intelligence, despite what their parents had said, the kids were beginning to open up to Sasuke, who was getting potential suitors every day. Naruto, on the other hand, zilch. Not a single friend, not a single love interest, or so he believed. There was that day that he saved the girl with the white eyes, but he never really thought about her. He was more infatuated with Sakura, but it wasn't reciprocated. Naruto just trudged along. Then came the time for the final exams. If they passed, they would be accepted as genin. Sasuke aced it with no problems whatsoever. Naruto, he failed. Naruto was left on that same old swing, looking at all the new plated headbands being handed out. Sasuke got one, but there wasn't one for Naruto. He was on the verge of tears. That's when Sasuke would approach him. He told Naruto that he could always take the test again and that he would even help him train for it, but for now, to come home and eat something. Naruto would sigh and tell him that he would, but needed to take some time to think. Sasuke would turn around and begin to walk away, telling him not to take too long. Naruto was alone with his thoughts, and despite having his brother, he had never felt so alone. Sasuke was now a genin. How long would it be until he left him behind? It wouldn't be long after that he would be met by Mizuki, who would appear to identify with and show some form of caring towards Naruto. He would tell him that there was a scroll that, if he could get, would allow him to become a better shinobi. He promised Naruto that if he could learn even one of the jutsu within, he'd be automatically accepted as a genin. Naruto's interest would be piqued. Mizuki would tell him that he would need to borrow the scroll from the Hokage's mansion. Naruto would eventually go to get the scroll, and while reading it, he would begin to learn and perfect the multi-shadow clone technique. The Hokage was alerted to the situation and had sent Shinobi out after Naruto to get the scroll back. Sasuke would also begin to track him down after hearing about it, as he knew that Naruto had gotten himself into some deep trouble. Mizuki by this point had shown his true colors when he was met with Iruka, who wanted to stop Naruto from giving Mizuki the scroll. Naruto would refuse to give it to Mizuki, but the rogue shinobi was willing to take it off a corpse, so he lobs his Fuma Shuriken at Naruto, causing Iruka to jump in the way. Iruka would take the shot and beg Naruto to run. Naruto would, but eventually, after being spurred on by Mizuki, he would use his multi-shadow clone jutsu to beat him into the ground. It was then that the shinobi would find Naruto. Naruto would give the scroll back and explain it to them. Iruka would vouch for him, and due to this, Naruto would be let off the hook. Sasuke would then show up to scold him for what he had done, asking him if he had any clue how stupid what he did was. Naruto would yell back that he had no choice. He didn't want to be left behind by his brother. He didn't want Sasuke to leave and forget about him. Sasuke told him that he would never forget about him even if he did leave. Naruto would retort and say that he didn't want Sasuke to leave in the first place. He wanted to go with him. Sasuke would relent and sigh. "I'm not going anywhere without you," he would tell Naruto. They would then go off for a nice bowl of ramen. After this, Naruto would demonstrate his new technique to Iruka, who would name him a genin and allow him to pass. Just Naruto's luck though, he and Sasuke would be put on the same team together under Kakashi. Sakura would also be put on the team as well, which almost seemed like a dream come true for Naruto. Kakashi would take them all to the side where he would introduce himself and ask for introductions in return by answering him a few questions. What their names were, what their likes were, their dislikes, and most importantly, what their dreams were. Sakura's dream was, of course, to marry Sasuke, an answer that made the whole room cringe. Naruto's was to be Hokage, a pretty common dream. Kakashi would ask Sasuke, who would respond that his dream was just to become a shinobi. Kakashi would then congratulate him on a dream fulfilled and ask him for a new dream. Sasuke would answer, "I don't know, I guess to be a higher rank shinobi." Kakashi would sigh and reply that shinobi who had no goals for the future didn't have a future and would not make it long in their business. A comment that offended Sasuke heavily, though he hid it all behind a set of cutting eyes that seemed to stare daggers into Kakashi. Kakashi would want to do the bell test with them. He had been informed by the third Hokage that his pupils would be a pair of twins, so Kakashi knew that they would care for each other well. However, even though he knew that they would care much for each other, he still wanted to test how well they worked as a team. And to this end, he added an extra bit to his original plan by making it a single bell instead of a pair. He wanted to see what would happen when both were faced with the knowledge that only one would go on to become a shinobi. Would the boys fight over it or give it to Sakura? Would Sakura accept it or give it to one of the others? Very similar to the original timeline, Naruto would rush headlong at Kakashi, and Sasuke would do it more strategically, but showing his incredible abilities so far. Sakura didn't seem to do all that much. Naruto, still sore from the 1,000 Years of Death technique, manages to get up. He would regroup with Sasuke and the two would talk it out. Naruto would mention that even if they win, they lose, as only one of them can move on. Naruto would say that he didn't want to move on without Sasuke, and Sasuke said the same about Naruto, and so they resolved to continue so they could give it to Sakura, but only for that reason. They would mostly fail, and by the time midday came around, they would have lunch. Kakashi asked them who would get the bell if they managed to win. Sasuke and Naruto would look at each other, and Naruto would speak. We can't pass together, so me and Sasuke decided that when we get the bell, we'll give it to Sakura because we'd prefer to stay together. Kakashi would nod upon hearing this. He would then look at Sakura, who'd mention that she doesn't want to move on without Sasuke, and would prefer he have it to continue his prodigious career. Naruto would buck against that, saying that Sasuke's career isn't going anywhere that Naruto's won't. In the middle of the bickering, Kakashi holds up a hand to ask for silence. This would be granted to him, and he would inform them of how the test worked, and he was thoroughly impressed with everyone's reactions, and thus had decided to let all three pass and be in his team. With that done, they'd be allowed to join Team 7. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would, for a while, do little missions here and there, but Naruto was growing impatient and would ask the Hokage for a better mission only for Sasuke to hush him, telling him not to be rude to the leader of one of the 5 most prestigious shinobi nations in the world. The Hokage would laugh, stating that it's quite alright, and would offer the Land of Waves mission to them, a mission they would accept. Their mission is to guard the building master Tazuna back to his native land, protecting him from bandits and ruffians. This mission seems to be a piece of cake. That is, until the Demon Bros come out of nowhere and attack. In the heat of the moment, Sasuke acts while Naruto panics. The Demon Bros are defeated, but Naruto is injured, his hand taking a scratch from the blades. Sasuke asks if he's okay and sees the wound. Kakashi is impressed with Sasuke's quick and decisive actions in regards to both fighting and first aid. Naruto, on the other hand, is ashamed of his reaction. Kakashi would recognize this and tell Naruto that there is always next time. Next time eventually comes in the form of Zabuza, the rogue shinobi and former member of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, a man who stole his blade from the mist and escaped. At first, Naruto freezes, but remembering his promise not to do so again, he stands resolute. When Kakashi is trapped in a water prison, Naruto and Sasuke move in to face off against the shinobi, nearly reading each other's minds as they fight. Eventually, they come up with the Demon Wind Shuriken ruse, which will see Sasuke throw 2 Demon Wind Shuriken, one in the shadow of the other, and when both are dodged, the last will transform, revealing itself to be Naruto before flinging a kunai at Zabuza from behind. This ploy works, and they take him by surprise. This results in Kakashi's liberation from the water prison technique. Outnumbered 2-1, 2 because he doesn't count Naruto or Sasuke as equal to a single shinobi, Zabuza would have Haku help him fake his own death, leading to Zabuza's escape from battle. A fishy one to say the least. They would get to Tazuna's house, where Kakashi would require rest due to having used so much of his chakra with his Sharingan. While resting, he has Naruto and Sasuke trained to climb vertical surfaces with nothing but the chakra at the bottom of their feet. Just like the story of Goldilocks, Sasuke adds too much chakra, Naruto doesn't add enough, and Sakura is just right. Naruto and Sasuke train so hard they puke from exhaustion, but they still continue. Sasuke gets a grasp on it soon enough, but Naruto has an even tougher time. He ends up working for days on end, even sleeping in the forest. Sasuke doesn't feel like he can help him, as this is a process of control as opposed to technique. Eventually, the only answer Sasuke could possibly give Naruto is get good. It's here in the forest that Naruto would have his first encounter with Haku. The two speak for only a short while before going their separate ways. Naruto manages to finish his training, learning how to do it just as Kakashi had asked. However, all of the training leaves him extremely tired. He ends up sleeping all night and all day, with Kakashi recommending leaving him there while they complete the mission as a way to reward him for his diligence. However, it's then that the bridge is attacked by Zabuza and Haku. Kakashi faces Zabuza, and Sasuke is trapped by Haku's demonic mirroring ice crystals. Naruto would awaken during this time and rush off to help, but would only stop to save Inari and Tsunami from being captured and turned into hostages. He would rush to the bridge where he'd see Sasuke. Without a second thought, he jumps into the obvious trap, leaving Sasuke to wonder how dumb his brother could possibly be. The two end up at Haku's mercy, with neither possessing a Sharingan due to Sasuke currently being of Namikaze and Uzumaki clan descent. This results in them taking Senbon. A lot of Senbon. Like before, Sasuke takes most of the damage for Naruto, resulting in what appears to be his death. However, this shakes Naruto to his core far worse than before, causing him not only to awaken his initial Jinchuriki cloak, but to go straight into version 2. This isn't just a friend he believes died, this is his big brother, the only person he has in the whole world. You think he wouldn't go this deep? He does. And he shatters the mirrors, absolutely killing Haku before rushing Zabuza, slaughtering him in a not so dissimilar way. He would kill all of Gato's men with relative ease as well, before turning on Kakashi. Kakashi only manages to stop this by casting a powerful genjutsu on him with his Sharingan. This causes Naruto to pass out and return to base, but the damage to his body is severe. His body seems burned by the form, his skin taking on a terrifying crimson color. It's revealed that Sasuke had survived, but now it seems unlikely that Naruto will. At this time, the bridge is renamed the Demon Fox Bridge after the brief appearance of the Ninetales upon it. They would stabilize Naruto for a time before delivering him back to Konoha, where he would spend much of his time in the hospital being healed. Sasuke would remain by his side the entire time, wondering what the heck Naruto did to tap into such a dangerous power that made him a threat to even Jonin-level shinobi, and allowed him to utterly eviscerate an entire army of people. Eventually, Naruto regains consciousness and exclaims with tears streaming down his cheeks that Sasuke is alive. Sasuke says that he's the one that should be crying right now. They exchange a hug, to which Naruto cries out in pain. However, Naruto states that it is a good pain. After he is healed, they continue their duties, and Sasuke explains what was told to him. Kakashi manages to vouch for Naruto, telling him that he can continue doing what he has been doing, but that he's going to need more control over himself, something that Kakashi says the third Hokage is dealing with now. He then informs them of the Chunin exams, with Kakashi stating that it is his belief, due to how well they handled a B-rank mission, which is generally what a Chunin tends to handle, that they were ready for the exams. And so they would go to sign up for them. Naruto would be a bit more subdued than usual due to Sasuke's guidance, but he would still be heavily excited, which would show through his boisterous nature. They would begin the first test, which would be the written exam. Sakura would power her way through, and Naruto still has the exact same reaction to it as before. Sasuke is different though. He can't use his Sharingan, so spying is out of the question. This results in him just answering the questions as best he can. In his head, he says to himself that at least they were chosen to try, but that there was no way that he'd pass, let alone Naruto. Then it comes down to the final question, which is the real question they need to answer, with failure to correctly do so leading to never becoming a Chunin. Sasuke is ready to call it quits to salvage his career, but then he sees that look in Naruto's eye. He's actually gonna try and answer it, he thinks to himself. Then he sees Naruto writing down on the paper. Believing Naruto has just flushed their careers, Sasuke prepares to answer it too, wondering if they could become carpenters or maybe something else. Then it's revealed that by merely choosing to answer the question, they answered it correctly, thus leading them to successfully passing the test and moving on. Wiping the sweat from his brow, they move forward. The second part of the exams is the Forest of Death. They must get the scroll from a team possessing the opposing color and make it with both scrolls to the center structure without opening either scroll. While there, they're faced with Orochimaru, who, having giving up on getting the Sharingan, now wants one of the two halves of the Ninetales, having learned that those who possess a tailed beast may gain a new Kekkei Genkai. His original target was Naruto, but when Sasuke proved easier to get a hold of, he chooses him instead, branding him with the curse mark. He also uses the 5-element seal on Naruto, locking away Kurama's yang power from him. Both pass out for a time and Sakura is left to defend them. That is, until the rest of the Rookie 9 show up to defend her. Sasuke would eventually wake up and go full Wookiee on Zaku, pulling his arms out of socket. He would be ready to kill Dosu until Sakura stops him. Together the team would get another scroll and move on. This is not without complications though, as Sasuke finds that he can no longer use chakra without accidentally awakening the seal. Kakashi would inform him that during his battle he cannot use the curse mark or he will be disqualified, and asks Sasuke if he would rather throw in the towel. Sasuke states that he'll push forward anyway, and through good old-fashioned taijutsu technique he manages to pull a victory out of his rear. He isn't the only one though, as Naruto manages to pull a victory out of his rear as well, this time in the form of flatulence. This is a disgusting way to win, but a victory is a victory. Sakura of course double KOs Ino, so both of them are out. After all of this, Kakashi puts a seal over the curse mark to keep it from activating. When Sasuke passes out, Naruto is left to care for him. It's then that the Hokage introduces the two to Jiraiya, with Jiraiya stating that he heard how Naruto lost control, and thanks to both Naruto and Sasuke being Minato's children, he will train them. After hearing about Sasuke's curse mark, he warns Sasuke about Orochimaru. He also notices the difference in their seals, leading Jiraiya to remove the 5-element seal over Naruto's. Together they train in trying to summon the Nine-Tails' strength, with Sasuke of course being a natural. Naruto is still having issues with this, so what is a Jiraiya to do? Send him bungee jumping without a cord. Sasuke would be ready to kill Jiraiya, but the pervy sage tells him to watch. Encountering Kurama for the first time, Naruto demands chakra from the tailed beast and manages to summon Gamabunta. With their training coming along nicely, Naruto and Sasuke would return to Konoha to face off against their opponents in the Chunin exams. Naruto against Neji and Sasuke against Gaara. Naruto comes out on top after he finds the chink in Neji's armor and punishes him for it. Sasuke manages to get one over on Gaara through the use of his Nine-Tails chakra. This causes Gaara to go off script, leaving the stadium with his siblings as Kabuto is left to pick up the pieces with his genjutsu. Sakura wakes Naruto and tells him to follow after Gaara and for Sasuke to help him. However, before Naruto can catch up, Sasuke defeats Gaara using both the Nine-Tails energy as well as Gamabunta's strength. However, at Naruto's insistence, he spares him and lets him go after realizing that he is in the same position as them. It's then that they return to the village where they learn of the third Hokage's assassination. They attend the funeral. It's then that Jiraiya is chosen to go with Naruto to collect Tsunade. Naruto asks if Sasuke can't come, and he's told that Naruto and Sasuke need to learn to work separately as well and can't always rely on the other. And so, Sasuke is sent with Kakashi to train while Naruto goes with Jiraiya to the Land of Waves. Sasuke would be attempting to hang with Kakashi when Itachi and Kisame show up out of the blue to take the Nine-Tails. Kakashi fights valiantly, but is subjected to the Tsukiyomi by Itachi, who then attempts to attack Sasuke. Sasuke uses his Nine-Tails chakra to fight back and manages to make room, but he is slowly overwhelmed by Itachi, leading to Sasuke panicking and accidentally calling Gamabunta, who levels the street and the buildings therein. Due to the commotion, Itachi and Kisame retreat for the time being. Gamabunta asks Sasuke what he's done, and Sasuke claims that it wasn't his fault. He was scared and panicked. Gamabunta states that this is why he didn't want Jiraiya teaching a bunch of children how to summon him. He disappears. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but a lot of property was destroyed, which leads to the village eventually showing their hatred in a more intense manner, such as pelting Sasuke with trash. Elsewhere, Naruto and Jiraiya are both fighting Orochimaru and Kabuto, where Naruto displays his Rasengan for the first time, impressing Tsunade, who would eventually gift him the first Hokage's necklace as a reward once it was over. They would return with Tsunade to the village, where Naruto can't wait to show Sasuke the new jutsu he's discovered. It's then that Naruto's informed that Sasuke is in the hospital. Shocked, Naruto asks what happened, and the shinobi tells him that there was an accident which resulted in an angry mob beating him brutally. Naruto goes into the room where Sasuke was to see him bandaged, bruised, and curled up on the bed. Naruto asks him what happened. Sasuke isn't willing to look Naruto in the eyes, as he's too afraid of showing him his tears. He asks Naruto what they need to do to stop being hated. Sasuke mentions that he saved the village from Shukaku, but it didn't help any, and that after one innocent mistake, they turned against him, beating him half to death, spitting on him, cursing him, asking him why he was born, and telling him to end his own life for the sake of the village he claimed to love. Angered, Naruto asks where those people are. Sasuke looks at him finally, showing for the first time weakness to his little brother. Naruto sits on the bed with him and just hugs him. Naruto isn't allowed to stay the night in the hospital due to the attack by the Akatsuki, but he is placed under armed guard. Naruto would spend the night alone in his apartment. The night is lonely, and he ends up staring at the ceiling quite a bit. He looks out over the village and witnesses the moon rising. Elsewhere, Sasuke is looking at that very same moon when suddenly the Sound Four come in. They ask him what's wrong with him. Sasuke is defensive, but it's revealed that the question was rhetorical. They tell him how he's been hated all of his life, how he's been abused, mistreated, and despite all of his power has no control. They tell him that he could be so much more if he would just let Orochimaru help him. He could gain enough strength to destroy those who would hurt him. Sasuke thinks about it for a long while. Then he grabs his things and begins to leave. Sakura is at the gate already, having gotten the distinct feeling that after what she saw today that he might leave. She begs him to stay for her sake, and for a moment Sasuke wonders if he's doing the right thing. He asks her to come with him. She refuses and asks if he really is going to leave Naruto. Sasuke thinks about it, and then he looks back. We both should leave this village. Sakura states that Naruto won't, not so long as he still has friends. Sasuke asks what friends he could possibly have. Sakura says that Kakashi is one of them, and Jiraiya. Sasuke says that people forced to interact out of obligation don't count. Sakura asks about herself, stating that she wouldn't be out here if she didn't care. Sasuke questions this before telling her to tell Naruto. Sasuke knows that Naruto will want to come with him and that it would be better if they both left the village separately. Sasuke then leaves. Sakura rushes to tell Naruto and the others. They scramble a team together to go after him and the Sound 4. Sasuke ends up having his seal evolved into a second stage by the Sound 4, and by the time Naruto catches up, Sasuke has already rushed to the Valley of the End. Naruto only manages to get past Kimimaro because Orochimaru told him that there's a distinct possibility that if they get one, the other will come running. Naruto meets up with Sasuke at the Valley of the End, and together they now talk because they're alone. Naruto asks what Sasuke's doing, and Sasuke states that he's planning to join Orochimaru's Hidden Sound Village, a place where outcasts like him and Naruto can be free, and where they can gain the strength needed to wipe out all those who hate them. Naruto tells Sasuke that he's letting his emotions make him crazy, but Sasuke retorts that the only crazy thing is that 2 children are left orphaned in a village that wishes they would die. Naruto then asks what he plans to do. Leave him like he promised he never would? Sasuke is shocked. He tells Naruto that they both can go to the Hidden Sound together, but Naruto states that he will not leave the village where he was born, that he would not leave the village his parents lived in. Sasuke states that they don't have parents. They were spawned by the Hokage tearing the Nine Tails in half. The village is their prison. He then asks Naruto why he thinks the Nine Tails was trying to destroy the village in the first place. Naruto states that they're not the Nine Tails, they're Naruto and Sasuke, and their choices are what matters. He says that even if he were the Nine Tails and had no biological parents, that he still sees the 4th Hokage as his father, having spared his life and gave his own to do so. Sasuke would then state that Naruto is a fool. The two would clash, both going all out, trying to beat some sense into the other. It's only due to Sasuke possessing the curse mark that he manages to defeat Naruto, leaving him unconscious in the water. Sasuke, seeing what he had done, would begin to panic. He would pull Naruto to shore and check for a pulse, for respiration. After hearing it, Sasuke would stand, tears in his eyes over how he nearly killed his little brother. He then runs off towards the Hidden Sound. There was no turning back now. The day after, Naruto wakes up in Konoha once more, in the hospital lamenting Sasuke. He finds that he's actually in the same room Sasuke was, in the same bed. Naruto looks out the window at the cloudy sky when Jiraiya walks in. Naruto doesn't turn to look at him. Jiraiya begins to talk, speaking of the danger Sasuke has now become and what might eventually need to happen. Naruto looks back, a tear in his eye, and asks Jiraiya to train him, saying that he must learn to be strong. He needs his strength to save Sasuke from himself. And from there, Naruto goes off with Jiraiya to train for what would be 2.5 years. Returning to Konoha, Naruto asks if they located Sasuke yet, but gets no response. Instead, he's sent to the Hidden Sand to rescue Gaara, which he only manages to do when Chiyo gives her life to revive the rehabilitated Kazekage. They fail to kill Deidara, but they manage to kill Sasori, who tells them of a secret meeting with a spy in Orochimaru's group before his death. Naruto, filled with hope, goes back to Konoha with the others, unable to contain his excitement. The Tenchi Bridge recon mission is then authorized, with Sai being added to the squad and Yamato being sent to replace Kakashi due to Kakashi overusing his Sharingan. Naruto and Sai do not mix well at all, and at least once Naruto beats him senseless after he dared to insult his brother. Little does Naruto know that Sai works for the underground organization Root, and that he has been sent on a special mission to kill Sasuke. They go to where Sasori told them to meet the spy, revealing it to be Kabuto. However, Yamato, who had been disguised as Sasori, is double-crossed by Kabuto when Orochimaru appears and attempts to kill them, shattering the disguise. Naruto jumps in with ferocity, attempting to overpower Orochimaru as soon as possible in an attempt to force him to talk. Orochimaru is still on top of things, and after provoking Naruto, Naruto unleashes version 2 once more, which forces Orochimaru to flee. Naruto, who was not ready for the form, accidentally hurts Sakura before being suppressed, showing himself harmed as well. Naruto's healed by Sakura, and they continue to pursue Orochimaru and Sai, who had seemingly defected. Naruto bears the guilt of hurting Sakura and considers swearing off using Kurama's power in the future. Sai enters Orochimaru's base and finds Sasuke ready to kill him, but after finding a sketch of Naruto sitting around, Sai thinks better of it. However, he awakens Sasuke. Sasuke is confused as to who he is, and Sai states that he was sent by Konoha and came there in a strike team consisting of the 2 members of Team 7, Sakura and Naruto. Sasuke seems shaken when he hears Naruto's name. Sai tells him that Naruto has been searching endlessly for him and wants him to come home. Sai tells him that he hasn't done anything wrong yet, and that defecting from the village can be pardoned if he returns now. Sasuke, not sure what to make of this, thinks deeply upon it. Then, when Team 7 shows up, Sasuke is there, standing alongside Orochimaru and Kabuto. Orochimaru tells Sasuke that they should leave, but Naruto calls out to him, begging his brother to come home. Sasuke can barely look Naruto in the eyes. Without speaking, Naruto already knows. He tells him what happened at the Valley of the End is the same thing that happens every time they talk about their parents. Just a scuffle, and that nothing he did there could hurt him worse than if he turned around and walked away right now. Sasuke looks up and says he doesn't know if he can go back to the village. He's gotten over the idea of destroying it, but can't feel welcome there anymore. Naruto tells him that he never feels welcome there, but he is still a member, and that the reason that they became Shinobi was to protect it. They took an oath to do so no matter the cost. Naruto says that if the cost is undue hatred, then he can handle it, so long as he has his brother by his side. Sasuke looks up, and then a moment later he's by Naruto's side. He hugs him and begs forgiveness for running away, with Naruto embracing him tightly and telling him that it's okay. Orochimaru states that he will not lose his investment so easy, and he attempts to attack them, planning to kill them, but as Orochimaru swings his blade, Naruto turns his back to protect Sasuke, feeling the blade of Kusanagi being dragged down his back across his spine. Orochimaru would then attempt to do the same to Sai, Sakura, and Yamato. Sasuke, face sprayed with his brother's blood, would be in shock as they fight. He would suddenly lose control of himself, activating his curse mark and his version 2 cloak at the same time, rushing Orochimaru at speed Orochimaru can't keep up with. He utterly destroys Orochimaru, killing him. Kabuto escapes this fate by fleeing. Yamato attempts to put a seal over Sasuke, but Sasuke in this form seems docile, merely returning to his brother and letting out a howl of sorrow. Sakura quickly begins to work on Naruto as Yamato brings Sasuke back to his senses. Sasuke feels completely and utterly guilty, knowing that if he hadn't run away with Orochimaru, that Naruto would not be in this position. They would return to the village where Tsunade works her magic, saving Naruto's life. When Naruto awakens, he hears that in exchange for killing Orochimaru, Sasuke has been granted leniency and is now allowed to return to the village, though his shinobi career is on hold. Not long after, the Akatsuki are labeled a true threat, and the mission to kill Hidan and Kakuzu is initiated. This results in the death of Asuma, though Kakashi and Shikamaru eventually avenge his death by killing Kakuzu and burying the still living head of Hidan in a deep hole for all of eternity. Jiraiya would then be sent to scope out Amagakure, hoping to find the leader of the Akatsuki, and find him he does. But this sadly leads to the death of Jiraiya, which shakes Naruto and Sasuke deeply upon learning it. They barely have the time to grieve before Naruto is sent to Mount Myoboku to train with the sages. While he's gone, Pain decides to pay the village a visit where he attempts to take the Nine Tails by force. Sasuke, using both his second stage curse mark as well as his version 1 chakra cloak, manages to hold off Pain until Naruto returns in Sage mode, having mastered it. Together they would team up on Pain and manage to defeat him. Naruto and Sasuke would then travel to the false tree where Pain was located. Sasuke was ready to kill him, but Naruto stops him. Naruto and Pain talk for a time about their differences as well as their similarities. In the end, Naruto convinces Pain that while their methods are different, they have the same end result in mind. The speech causes a change of heart within Nagato, who then revives the dead that he had killed before entrusting the future to Naruto. It's then that Tsunade, having avoided going comatose due to Sasuke being there to fend off Pain, goes to the 5 Kage summit that was called in regards to the emerging threat of the Akatsuki. While there, they form a coalition that the Raikage is voted to lead. Then, Tobi, under the name Madara, decides to start the 4th Shinobi World War when he's denied the Nine Tails. Tsunade returns to Konoha and has Naruto and Sasuke sent away to train, though it's more to keep them away from the war for everyone's safety. While on the Turtle Island, they meet Killer Bee, who helps them learn how to tap into their chakra reserves and use the Nine Tails chakra mode. In the middle of learning this technique, Naruto and Sasuke manage to make contact with Kushina and Minato, both of whom help them defeat their own particular halves of Kurama. It's then, after a pep talk from their parents, that Naruto and Sasuke are relieved to finally know that they do have a mom and dad, and they aren't just demons like everyone thinks they are. Empowered by their newfound humanity, the two boys siphon power from their tailed beasts and proceed to rush to the battlefield, where they help destroy the Zetsu imposters and seal away many of the Edo Tensei that blocked their path to the Geto statue. Then, with the help of Kakashi, they manage to defeat Obito Uchiha, who proceeds to absorb the Ten Tails. Naruto and Sasuke would tag team him using their tailed beast modes, and with the hopes of the world on their shoulders, they manage to pull the Ten Tails out of Obito. After a short conversation with him about what he did wrong and what he could have been, Obito repents his evil ways and attempts to revive all that he killed, but, plot twist, Zetsu forces him to revive Madara instead. Madara then reclaims the Rinnegan and absorbs the Ten Tails. In doing so, he strips the Nine Tails from Naruto and Sasuke, leaving them on the ground to die. However, Obito manages to pull enough tailed beast chakra from Madara to revive both of them. Naruto and Sasuke, as they're being revived, see a vision of the Sage of Six Paths, who says how good it is to see Indra and Asura so close to each other again, and then warns them about the threat of the Ten Tails before gifting them each a portion of his chakra, allowing them both to attain a form of Six Paths Sage mode, with Sasuke's cloak being purple due to him using the curse mark instead of Sage mode. Together, they both awaken and proceed to fight Madara. However, as the moon reaches the peak position for the Infinite Tsukiyomi, Madara is taken over by Kaguya Otsutsuki through the betrayal of Black Zetsu, who was working for her all along. She casts the Infinite Tsukiyomi, which, actually, do they have a way to survive it? I mean, they required Sasuke's Rinnegan to actually be protected by it, but they don't have a Rinnegan, so can they really find a way to be immune? Wait, what am I saying? They have the truth-seeking orbs, which are able to block out any and all chakra natures, which would include the Infinite Tsukiyomi, as it is a genjutsu, which is naturally yin release, a chakra nature that exists within the truth-seeking orbs. So yes, they could survive it. They would then travel with Sakura, Kakashi, and Obito through the various dimensions to face off against Kaguya, where Obito makes the ultimate sacrifice. Taking the oof, Kaguya sent for Naruto. Together, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi, using his newfound Mangekyo powers, are able to strip Kaguya of her tailed beasts and seal her away for good. They then return to the realm that they're native to and use the dying Madara to undo the effects. Naruto and Sasuke are hailed as heroes of the world, and peace reigns for a time, until Toneri Otsutsuki attempts to kill everyone Skull Kid style. Venturing to the moon to save Hinata and Hanabi, Naruto and Sasuke defeat Toneri rather easily, going so far as to help him understand the error of his ways, turning foe into friend. After this, Naruto, having finally understood the love of Hinata, reciprocates and the two are married. Sakura also gets through to Sasuke, who realizes that she really meant what she said when she said that she was his friend. They get married as well, and it isn't long until Boruto and Sarada are born, with little Himawari coming up just a few years later. Naruto ends up becoming the Hokage after Tsunade retires, becoming the 6th Hokage. Sasuke's there for him the whole time. When Momoshiki and Kinshiki appear to take Naruto's tailed beast from him, they would fight them off, with Naruto and Sasuke together using each of their halves of Kurama to defeat Momoshiki and Kinshiki, though Momoshiki still manages to brand Boruto with the Karma Seal. After this comes the Ishiki arc, in which a clone of Jiraiya manages to push Jigen into assuming his full power, a process that, due to the mismatch of his vessel, causes the body of Ishiki to deteriorate within 3 business days. Anyway, when they're faced with the threat of Ishiki, Naruto resorts to his break glass in case of emergency ability, Baryon mode, which will allow him to gain strength at an incredible rate, but at the expense of shortening his own and anyone he touches lifespans. So Naruto uses this ability to touch Ishiki. He touches Ishiki a lot with this form. He touches him so much that his 3-day limit is shortened to just a couple minutes. When Ishiki wishes to use Kawaki, he threatens to kill the weakened Naruto, who has already run out of chakra. Kawaki says that he will let Ishiki take over his body if he spares Naruto. Ishiki is pleased with this and then attempts to switch bodies with Kawaki, only to learn the horrible truth that this Kawaki was merely a shadow clone, which evaporates in his hand, leaving Ishiki to turn to dust. Kawaki then jumps down, crushing the remains of the Otsutsuki, killing him for good. For a while, it seems as if Naruto is going to die, and this terrifies Sasuke, though Boruto, or should I say Momoshiki, tries to capitalize on this by killing Sasuke. However, it's revealed that Sasuke and his own Kurama have befriended each other long ago, and the avatar of Kurama's head sticks out of Sasuke's back and headbutts Borushiki without Sasuke even knowing what's going on. Boruto rips the horn off his head to free himself from Momoshiki's grasp. It's then that we learn that Naruto's Kurama has died. Sad times. But Naruto lives, and so Sasuke just cleaves some of his own Kurama off to revive Naruto's Kurama, since they're the same person anyway. So when the future comes, Naruto isn't going to be quite as useless. The code arc happens pretty much the same, and we even catch up to where we are now, so everything seems to be good in this timeline. Looks like we found another timeline with a happy ending. So, what did you think of this story? Not gonna lie, I got a little carried away with the drama. Went from a strict what if to I gotta make these story jerks some tears. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it and what you think would be different.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.